So, have you ever seen this happen? You've got this uh, perfectly articulate professional, right?
Mhm.
And then when they're with close friends, they suddenly just drop this magnificent string of curses. But you just know they would never use that language in a high stakes meeting.
Right.
So why the flip? We assume it's some kind of inconsistent character, but this deep dive shows, well, it's the exact opposite.
It's not inconsistency at all. What you're actually seeing is peak linguistic performance.
Okay.
Yeah, that ability to shift your language based on the audience. It's called pragmatic competence. And today we're going to look at the rational thinking behind it, something linguists call the recourse calculus.
The recourse calculus. So it's like a risk assessment.
Precisely, a subconscious assessment of social or, institutional penalties.
Okay, let's unpack this because I think most of us assume that all our language, comes from the same place in the brain. But the science shows that profanity is, well, it's fundamentally different.
It is totally different. Cursing isn't really controlled by the cerebral cortex,
Hmm.
which is, the part that handles grammar and complex thought.
Okay.
It's actually linked to the older core of the brain, the basal ganglia and the limbic system.
For the emotional, more instinctive part.
Exactly. Which is why swearing is often this sort of involuntary emotional release, a reflex.
Wait, so it actually bypasses the main language centers.
Yeah,
That's incredible. And we even have clinical proof for this, don't we?
we do.
Patients with severe aphasia who might struggle to even form a basic sentence can sometimes just, boom, let out a whole string of taboo words. It's like it's on a different circuit.
It's absolutely on a different circuit, and that circuit has an immediate, measurable utility. Which brings us to the hypolgesic effect.
The what?
The hypolgesic effect, studies show that actually swearing, can increase your pain tolerance,
Get out. By how much?
sometimes by as much as 33%. It triggers a stress-induced analgesia. It's part of our fight or flight response.
That is just wild. Swearing is literally a self-administered painkiller. I wish I'd known that before my last root canal.
Huh. Well, there's a catch. The effect only works if the word has real emotional weight for you. Made-up words, or, saying fudge, just doesn't trigger the same biological response. And this brings us right back to the recourse calculus.
Okay, so let's look at the two settings. What happens when we move from, say, a low recourse setting, like your living room, to a high recourse one, like a job interview?
In that low recourse intimate setting, the whole function of profanity just shifts. It's not for pain relief anymore. It becomes a pro-social tool for social bonding.
A social shortcut.
Exactly. It signals comfort, acceptance, familiarity. You're breaking a small taboo together. It says, I trust you enough to be unfiltered. In fact, in those settings, not swearing could actually be the bigger risk.
Right, because being too formal signals distance.
Precisely.
But the second you step into that courtroom or a disciplinary hearing, the consequences are suddenly very real. Fines, getting fired.
And that's when the avoidance kicks in. The calculus completely flips. The decision to suppress that instinct, it isn't about morality. It's a rational, highly prioritized risk assessment.
The small benefit of release is just not worth the massive professional risk.
Not even close. And that act of suppression, that's maybe the most powerful evidence we have of a speaker's social intelligence.
This just completely pushes back on that old myth, doesn't it? That people who swear a lot are, uneducated or just don't have enough words.
Oh, it's absolutely refuted by the research. Studies show that people who are good at generating taboo words, we call it swearing fluency, they also score higher on tests of overall vocabulary.
So they have the words, they're just making a choice.
It's a conscious trade-off. They're prioritizing speed and emotional impact over, maximum politeness in that specific moment.
So the big takeaway here for you, the listener, is that your choice to use or avoid these words is really, it's a sign of sophisticated social awareness, not some kind of character flaw. But if this whole calculus is about immediate risk and benefit, what's the long-term cost?
And that's the final crucial thought. It's what you could call the habituation dilemma or the overuse paradox.
Okay.
While swearing gives you that powerful immediate relief, constantly relying on it actually degrades the word's power over time. That hypologesic effect, it lessens.
So the more you use it, the less it works as a painkiller.
Exactly. If you always default to that high voltage language to cope, you might just be dulling your own tools and maybe even hindering the development of healthier, more reflective ways of dealing with stress. That quick release comes with a very subtle price tag.